Once upon a time, in the forest of Sherwood in England, there lived a legendary hero named Robin Hood. Robin Hood was a brave and clever archer who, along with his loyal companions, lived deep within the forest, leading a secretive life. His name was known far and wide because he specialized in robbing the greedy and cruel nobles and corrupt officials, then redistributing their wealth to the poor, becoming a hero in the hearts of the people. In his youth, Robin Hood was once a nobleman, but he was forced to flee into Sherwood Forest after rebelling against the wicked local lord, the Sheriff of Nottingham. In the forest, Robin Hood met a group of like-minded friends, including the strong Little John, the cheerful Friar Tuck, and the kind-hearted Will Scarlet. Together, they formed a band that vowed to fight against the sheriff and all nobles who oppressed the people. The sheriff and his soldiers made many attempts to capture Robin Hood and his companions. But they were always defeated by Robin Hood's wisdom and bravery. Robin Hood's archery skills were extraordinary, always hitting the target at critical moments, leaving his enemies with no escape. He often set traps to ensnare greedy nobles and then turned their wealth over to the poor people they had exploited. One day, the sheriff devised a plan to capture Robin Hood by hosting a grand archery contest, hoping to lure Robin Hood out of hiding. He knew Robin Hood, being a top-notch archer, would not resist such a challenge. Robin Hood, indeed, heard about the contest, but he was unafraid and decided to participate, preparing a clever plan. On the day of the contest, Nottingham Square was filled with people eager to witness the spectacle. Disguised, Robin Hood mingled with the crowd, and no one recognized him as the legendary hero. When it was his turn to shoot, Robin Hood's arrow hit the bullseye without fail, stunning the entire audience. At first, the sheriff didn't recognize Robin Hood, but when he noticed the archer's extraordinary skills, he became suspicious. However, Robin Hood had already planned his escape. After the contest, he swiftly retreated, and the sheriff's men could not catch up with him. Once again, Robin Hood successfully evaded capture, and he distributed the prize money among the poor. In addition to fighting the sheriff and nobles, Robin Hood had a beloved maiden named Maid Marian. She was the daughter of a local noble, intelligent and kind-hearted, and she admired Robin Hood's actions. Despite their different social statuses, Marian was deeply in love with Robin Hood and often risked her safety to help him evade capture. Robin Hood, in turn, was very protective of Marian, and their love became the subject of many romantic legends. As time passed, Robin Hood's reputation grew, becoming a nightmare for oppressors while the poor saw him as their protector. However, Robin Hood never forgot his original mission. He continued to fight for justice, never backing down, no matter how powerful his enemies were. Eventually, Robin Hood's heroic deeds reached the ears of King Richard I. King Richard was a wise ruler, and upon hearing the tales, he decided to learn more about this legendary hero. At the time, King Richard had just returned to England after years of crusading. He found his kingdom in disarray, with corruption rampant under the rule of his brother, Prince John, and the Sheriff of Nottingham. To test the truth of Robin Hood's reputation, King Richard decided to visit Sherwood Forest in disguise. He dressed as an ordinary pilgrim and entered the forest to find Robin Hood. Soon, the king encountered Robin Hood and his companions. Initially, Robin Hood did not realize the pilgrim's true identity and warmly welcomed the king, sharing his stories of fighting against the nobles and standing up for justice. King Richard was deeply moved by Robin Hood's sense of justice and bravery and decided to reveal his true identity. When he removed his disguise, Robin Hood and his companions were shocked to discover that the pilgrim was their king. Robin Hood immediately knelt, showing respect to the king, and asked for forgiveness, knowing that he had rebelled against the king's officials. However, King Richard did not punish Robin Hood. Instead, he praised Robin Hood's actions highly. He declared that Robin Hood would no longer be an outlaw but rather a knight of the king. The king also removed the sheriff from his position, restored the freedom of the forest's people, and issued new laws to ensure that the nobles could no longer oppress the poor. With the king's support, Robin Hood became a true hero, and his name was etched into the annals of history. Sherwood Forest returned to peace and harmony, with Robin Hood and his companions continuing to protect the land. He and Maid Marian were finally married, and they lived happily ever after in the forest. The story of Robin Hood has been passed down for centuries, with his courage, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to justice becoming a legend. His spirit continues to inspire, making him one of England's greatest folk heroes. No matter how time changes, the tale of Robin Hood still echoes through the winds of Sherwood Forest, reminding everyone of the immeasurable value of justice and freedom. The friendship between King Richard and Robin Hood also became part of history as they worked together to bring prosperity and peace back to England. To this day, Robin Hood is remembered for his fearless pursuit of justice, forever inspiring those who seek to change the world. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.